Nothing says date movie like a 3D ride to hell.
Once upon a time, on a sad Valentine, in a place known as Mine.
Okay, we've got You and My Bloody Valentine. We've got Jared and Friday the 13th.
I know.
Is it fair to say the Winchester boys are taking over horror in Hollywood?
What a world. Yeah, you know, that was a complete circumstance. Just kind of happened. We both laughed about it, and we both thought for sure we were going to release on the same date, but obviously the powers to be thought better. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, you know, it was kind of one of those things where, you know, we're locked up for 9 months out of the year, so we don't necessarily get our pick of the litter of any film or get to meet with directors or get to do anything. So, you know, if we get an opportunity of any sorts, we jumped on it, and it just so happened that, you know, they happen to be both horror movies. And but I gotta tell you, man, when I got off the phone with Patrick Lussier, the director of the movie, I was amped. I knew this was going to be a great project.
Now, were you a fan of the original film before coming in?
Yeah, well, I'm originally from Canada, and of course the original is a Canadian cult classic, mandatory viewing, that and skating, and watching Hockey Night in Canada. So I was very familiar with the film, and it was great to have a chance to revisit it and resurrect the Miner.
It was such an iconic cult film that I thought it was really important for me to do the remake of it, because so many of my friends that love horror films and that are great writers just loved the original, and it was like the first scary movie that they ever saw, and so I really wanted to participate in it, and I'm really glad that I did.
Was there any difference in shooting in 3D for you, or was that something the camera guys took care of?
Yeah, there's a difference. I mean, it's a slower process because it's such a new process, but you know, the camera equipment itself is big. It requires a lot more light. The setup times are a little bit longer, but you know, those things will get better in time.
The world with 3D is shot a lot wider than normal film. You know, you don't have those tight shots of the mug. So everything's got to be a little bit more expressive, a little bit more, your body language has got to be a little bit more expressive than I'd say normal film, where you got to keep everything kind of tight and you know, controlled.
So you do your take, and then if they wanted the action to come at you, then you needed to do the deliberate take, the action that was very in your face, so then they could capture that and then make it pop out the screen.
3D are big-ass cameras that don't go underground easily. That were the biggest challenge, is that and just kind of learning how to speak a new language. You know, basically our cameras were ultimately built the day before we started shooting, so we tested on day one.
It's like going back to film school.
It's a big, loud, sort of traditional, you know, overdrive horror score.
So it's not like, say, the original film with a big expository song at the end?
No, it's not there anymore. So, you know, there's some cheesy goodness in that song, I have to admit. But
as far as the 3D gimmick, when you were writing with 3D in mind?
3D gimmick? This is no gimmick. I grew up with Friday the 13th 3D and Jaws 3D. It's not like that. It's not flat, and then something, you know, flies right at you. This is not how it works today. You're completely inside the movie, and it's great. You're sitting there in the audience, and the killer could be sitting right beside you. So that's different.
I play the role of the spectator. I sit there and go like, "Oh man, that was 3D." That will be me. That guy in the theater, when you watched it in the movie theater, when the guy's like, "Oh, talk," and the cell phone sound, that's me. I make the cell phone sound.
I am haunted by that noise every time I hear it.
It's hard to breathe in the miner's mask, and they were asking me to do some pretty physical stuff, and it was hard, very hard.
Did you have a lot of fun killing people on screen?
Yes, I really enjoyed that. It's pretty challenging, little stunt work like that. It's fun.
Can you tell our viewers just how bloody My Bloody Valentine is?
We live up to the bloody in the title. It was our sole goal going in with Gary Tunnicliffe, our special effects makeup artist, and myself. We sat down there and said, you know, if it's called My Bloody Valentine, you know, it can't be my candy-ass Valentine. You know, we have to go all the way. It has to be as bloody as we can possibly make it. We have to lean as far over into NC-17 as we can go, and then just take our toes back so we get an R.
What's your favorite kill?
I'm gonna have to say the Burt kill, the Tom Atkins kill.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Anything with Tom Atkins is
Anything
great.
with Tom Atkins is gonna be great, but his kill in this one is just I think I actually laughed out loud and clapped 3 or 4 times at how great it was.
Well, you've been in so many genre films. What is it about the horror genre that keeps bringing you back?
I love horror movies. There was a time where I kind of wished I could have the kind of career that Vincent Price had. I mean, he was in a lot of things that were not horror movies, but he did his fair share of those too. I got to meet him once out here in LA, at a pastry shop. He had already got his pastry, and I watched him, get his stuff. He walked outside, and then he looked in the window at me, and he went, "I love your work." And I ran out, and we had a nice chat. It was a terrific visit. Yeah, he was great.
In a fight between Tom Atkins and RoboCop, who would win?
Well, see, I'm a bit partial to RoboCop because it was filmed in Dallas, Texas, which is where I'm from. But I'm still gonna have to go with Tom.
And,
Detective Ray Cameron would win, hands down. Thrill me.
Can you introduce yourself to Dread Central?
Hey everybody, I'm CJ Graham.